Dímelo, Dominican York. What's going on, mi gente? What is going on? Reed, I want to talk about something, man. Well, first, scent of the morning is one that, just like the man Cologne says, a brand you don't hear anybody talking about, Serge Lutens, La Religieuse. This is one of those brands, and Garland, you said it. This is one of those brands, if you want to get into niche and you don't want to drop a bag, there's no hype on these Serge Lutens. You'll hear Amber Sultan or one of them pop up on somebody's list every once in a while. But Chergy, but you never hear anything about the rest of the house. In all truth, this is a musk, civet, forgot what else. There's musk, civet, jasmine. So it's sweet, floral with a bite. And it's soft. It's not very pungent, not like some of the things that they offer. I only have 7 frags from them, so it's not like I know the house in depth. I only know a little bit, and the little bit I got, guys, got this for about $50, 50 mil. You can get the 100 mils anywhere from like 70 to $100, but well worth the juice. Is it a loud beast mode frag? No. This is a gentleman or a grown-ups person, because this is, I'm pretty sure, unisex. I could see this on a woman as well as a man. But La Religieuse from Serge Lutens, one of those frags that you just sample it. Sample it. There's no hype around it. That's why you can get it for such a great price. In the gray market or in the resale market, you can get it for a great price. Anyway, today's talk is about Xerjoff. And Xerjoff is a brand that a lot of people know and love. You hear a lot of talk about Torino 21, Naxos, a couple other things, Tony Omi, the Monkey Specials. Right now, everybody's talking about the Lamborghini collab, right? Everybody's kind of, that's the buzz. I don't know if they put bottles out there for people to have, because it's really not all positive. You're getting a lot of honest reviews on the Lamborghini line, and I think it's because people are having to pay their dollar for it. And right now, those bottles are not discounted, at least that I've seen. I've not seen them discounted yet. But I've got Xerjoff's 1861 collection, and you can look it up. The 1861 collection from Xerjoff originally started with 3 frags, and I'll go over those 3 first. But the most famous of them is Naxos. Naxos is a sweet tobacco, lavender, honey. This stuff, oh my gosh. This is intoxicating. And I know, my little brother, you like this scent a lot. This is intoxicating. This is one of those frags that This is one of those frags that hits the back of my brain and just makes me feel like the man. I've gotten compliments with it. I've gotten compliment on the fragrance while I'm in line with my wife. So they weren't afraid to say something in front of my wife. This stuff is just really good. Now, there was an older bottle style originally, I think, with all the 3. But I've got, obviously, a later formulation. I don't know the batch code. This is probably a 2020 and later release. Not release, but production. My code is 14824N. 14824N. So if you guys want to look it up, find out what the production is. But I get an all-day wear out of Naxos. This is one that a lot of people might think winter, but a lot of people can wear this in the summer. You just got to be conscious of your sprays. I've worn it in both the warm weather and the cool weather. And Naxos is a banger. There's a lot of people that will say that there's other stuff that smells better than Naxos. There's Naxo dupes that say that the performance is better. I don't know if they're pushing what they got, but for me, there's no comparing. There's no needing to get the dupe. You can find this for $150, sometimes less, sometimes more, but in that $150 range, way lower than the retail price. Next up, one that I wore yesterday as my scent of the day, Zafiro. Now this is a spicy, ambery kind of scent. And again, I'm not reviewing, I'm just kind of sharing. Not just kind of, I'm sharing. This is so good. I forgot how good this was. It was almost a year because, you know, a year ago I didn't have this size of a collection. So I'm new to the frag game in terms of collection, but I'm old school because I've been rocking and wearing multiple fragrances for decades, guys. You know what I mean? My first cologne was, you know, when I was 5 years old, and I splashed that mug all over myself. Definitely got probably, you know, looks and stares from the family, but nobody said anything to me. It was 1980. Come on. And, you know, throughout the late 80s, junior high school days in New York City, I was rocking Cool Water. I was rocking freaking CK1. I was rocking Eternity when it came out. I was rocking Obsession. My friends had the JPGs, and I would, you know, sneak a spritz out of that stuff. Guys, I've been around. I was rocking Chorus from my uncle's closet back in the days. I was rocking YSL's Jazz for Men, that black and white bottle, way back in the days. I went through multiple bottles of that because my uncle went through multiple bottles of that. Been around, guys. I've been around. 2009, I was rocking freaking Gucci Pour Homme 2. So I've been around the block. I've been around the block. Just because you see that this is all new, don't fool yourself and think that I'm a newbie. I am new to FragCom. I'm not new to fragrance. But Zafiro yesterday, gorgeous wearing experience, lasted all day. I got a solid 6+ hours. I ended up replacing the fragrance or adding something else because, you know, after hour 6, it was subdued. It was quieter. But this has a really, really beautiful incense to it. Some people might say church-like. Some people might not. But this guy is so good. Refreshing. Naxos, to me, year-round. This guy, for me, year-round. Year-round. Next up, Renaissance. I haven't worn this mug in a minute. I haven't worn this Renaissance in a minute. This is definitely a summer frag, guys. I need to pull this out. This is some of the best. Probably has some Calabrian bergamot, some mint. This is good, guys. This is a summer banger. This is one that you guys need to get your nose on. Now, Zafiro, you'll definitely find for less than $200. 3.4, guys. Naxos for $150, a little more, a little less. 3.4 ounce, 100 mils. Quality. Zafiro, same thing, in that $150 range, probably a little more, a little less, depending on where you look, but you got to do your homework. You got to do your homework. 100 mil. This one, for sure, you can find in that $150 range. Again, 100 mil. 100 mil. Quality, quality, quality. This is 2 dupes. You guys buy 2 dupes or inspirations, and I get it. If you want imagination, you want imagination. I've never been chasing the LV DNA. I just personally haven't. Any of them. Because I found if I end up wanting that LV, I'm going to want to go the OG, and I didn't want to have to drop $350. Right? So that's kind of a personal thing for me. If I go with a dupe, if I go with an inspiration, and I like it, I'm going to eventually want to get the OG. I want to find the original. Maybe I don't like the original, and then I don't have to worry about having the original, and I keep the inspired, affordable frag. But I've not found that yet. Everything that I've found that I pretty much like, except for Blonde Amber, I'm still not dropping, because even on discounters, you can't get Blonde Amber in a 50 mil for less than about $300. 320, 350, 330, 310, $300. I might have seen it maybe once or twice for that 280, 290 range, but never I've seen it in that 250 range. Maybe with a coupon, you know, if they have it down to 280, 290, maybe with a coupon, but then usually by that time they bump the price back up to 350, 340, and then with the coupon you're getting it for about 300. So the discounters know what they're doing. So Blonde Amber is probably the only one. Blonde Amber and let's say like a Frederick Mall inspiration, because I've not bought any Frederick Mall. You know, the ones that I've seen at a great price have not necessarily been the ones that I've wanted to get. I want Musk Ravageur. I should have pulled the trigger when I did one time see it less than $200, or in that $200 range, but I didn't, and it was 100 mil. And I didn't. I should have, because that deal went away, and I've not been able to find it again. I've seen it in that $300 range, but it's just, I want it, but it's probably going to be a Christmas thing for me. So I do want Musk Ravageur, and I don't have a sample of that, and I don't have an inspired take on that. Let me know what it smells like. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what Musk Ravageur smells like so I can maybe get my hands on something affordable so I can make sure that I do want the OG before dropping that bag. I might have to get a sample. But Renaissance, you'll hear some really good feedback on Renaissance. Some people don't like it, but a lot of people do. Again, guys, you can get this quality summertime banger for definitely under $200, but probably closer to 150, sometimes less. I found each of these for less than 150. Renaissance, great spring summer frag. If you haven't put your nose on it, sample it. Right? The price of 2 inspired takes gets you 1 OG. That is outstanding. And last but not least, oh, grabbed the wrong bottle. Last but not least, I keep seeing this for about $130 in different places. Decas. Decas is so good. First time I wore Decas, I oversprayed. And it was starting the tuberose, right? I think there's tuberose in here. It's a floral, ambery. There's some tobacco, if I'm not mistaken. This stuff is so good. I was this close to buying a backup bottle. This close, because for $130, the quality you get on this is outstanding. Anyway, after that first wearing, you know, I kind of just had to sit down for a minute, lay down for a minute on the couch, watch some TV, let Decas settle down, and then that warmth, that glow, that vibrancy, that depth. Look at the color of the juice. It's probably gotten slightly darker, but it was dark when I got it. It's the darkest of the 4. Now, this was released 10 years after Zafiro, Naxos, and Renaissance. So, Decas is celebrating the 10th anniversary, and I don't know what year it dropped, but it's celebrating the 10th anniversary of those 3 bottles releasing, celebrating the 1861 collection. And Decas is probably the least expensive of the 4 that you can find for about that $130 range, $140 range. Definitely under $150. Drop a comment down below if you don't know where to find it, and I'll tell you where to find it. Guys, this is good, but you gotta like florals. You gotta like a deep, dark, densey scent that actually can be worn year-round. This is a year-round wear. Again, contingent on sprays, right? You don't want to overspray in the summer. You don't want to, well, you can't really underspray in the winter because this thing will last. This thing is absolutely stunning. Guys, it's so good. These bottles. With Naxos, you have no worries about the bottle falling. They click into place. Amazing atomizers. Guys, you cannot go wrong. If you only need 4, and you can get all 4 for less than $600. If you only want 4 and you want something that's high quality with a very affordable price, well, you know, relatively affordable, right? Not everybody wants to drop $150 a frag. But if you're buying 3 inspireds or 2 inspireds, or, you know, if you're like me and you're really looking for, if you're going for inspired, you want to keep it under $30. So yeah, that'll be 5 or 6 inspired takes. But a lot of you guys are dropping 60, 70, 80, 90 bucks on inspired fragrances. Now, obviously there are designer and niche that are inspired that are more than that. But then you're going with hopefully what should be a higher quality juice. who's to say? I'm not a fragrance connoisseur yet, right? I like to think that I am, but I'm not, guys. Just because I've got homages and other things doesn't make me better than anybody. You know what I mean? I got some Electimus, I got some freaking Bodicea. These are the affordable ones. I find deals. I find steals. One that's a steal right now, if you can find it, because when it pops up, it goes away fairly quick, is Cuban tobacco, guys. Algabra. Nobody's talking about Algabra anymore. And there's people that are graduating to other things that did love Algabra that probably are saying, you know, Algabra's trash now. I'm getting rid of the bottles. I'm only keeping the best. I get it. If you want to get rid of bottles, get rid of bottles. I'm not. Especially if I love it. This is amazing, guys. Extracts, 50 mils, Cuban tobacco. You've heard Uncle Cuba talk about it. Now you know Uncle Bo is definitely hyping it up and backing it up. The stuff is legit. But today's star of the show, if you only want a 4-bottle collection and you want it to be a year-round versatility, trying to see if I can get this. You've got Naxos, you got Decas. They're probably the two darker juices. Can be worn year-round, but some people might lean towards winter with those. And then you've got Zafiro and Renaissance. Can be worn, again, 4 seasons, but some people might lean towards the warmer months with these, definitely on Renaissance. Guys, if you only need 4 bangers and you want them to be legitimately some of the best of what the industry has produced, you cannot go wrong with the 1861 collection from Xerjoff. That's the truth, guys. And I just watched Demand Cologne. What an amazing video he just put out. The last video from Demand Cologne. Yeah, I'm not afraid to hype up the channel. Listen, I got a lot of inspiration from him and other fragrance reviewers for what I buy because I trust their noses, right? These guys are not getting paid for that. Guys, I've not gotten a free bottle ever. Everything I've got here now, there are some free bottles from my wife. My wife is an insider, and those are all designer stuff, right? That's all designer stuff. But a lot of it, she buys, right? 2 stuff that I didn't have to pay for, that she didn't have to pay for, are these 2. And you know what? Ever since I started collecting, I've wanted these bottles, but you can't find these on discounters. When I did, I didn't pull the trigger. But when she had the opportunity to get them, I said, get them. Get them. I need those. Right? She hooked it up with, and I had already bought a bottle, but she hooked it up with 3 bottles. I gave 1 away, so now I've got 3. I had 4. She gave me 3. I bought 1. The one I bought, I've been had. But when she had the opportunity to get me Sauvage Elixir, boom. Take it. Take it. This could be a one and done. Again, not going to be for everybody, but that could be a one and done. That could definitely be a one and done type of frag. But I say all that to say that you definitely got to watch the Man Cologne's video. You got to watch what you're buying. You got to make sure that you love what you get. Sample. Sample. Don't blind buy the way I did unless, you know, you can do it. If you can do it and you're not going to hurt yourself, do it. I did. I blind bought over 50% of what I got. But I study notes, right? And I know what I like. I've got a discerning nose. I know what I like. And like my wife says, I like everything, right? I love certain things, but I like everything. I like everything, guys. There's frags that, you know, can be offensive to some people's noses. Now I'm going to put a very inexpensive frag to show you. Nobody's going to talk about Hombre de Louis, right? This is from freaking Fragrance World. This was very challenging at first. This was extremely challenging at first. This is a rose oud saffron. It says it right here. Agarwood, raspberry, incense, rose, birch, benzoin, amberwood, saffron, and geranium. This was super challenging at first. This was super challenging at first. But then, oh God, that is so good, guys. That is so good. And having things like this made me appreciate more things like this. More Than Words from Xerjoff, right? That's another one that at first I was kind of tough. It was kind of tough on me. I wasn't into the dry rose oud, and I know people say there was a sweetness in here. I wasn't getting it at first. Wow, it's even more beautiful than the last time I wore it. Guys, there's something beautiful about a rose oud combo. And I'm starting to pick up the sweetness because it's very subtle, guys. If you don't have a discerning nose, you may not pick up any sweetness the way I did not pick up any sweetness the very first time I wore this. Gosh, that's good. Maybe your nose will. I don't know. You know, all of us have different olfactory receptors. Obviously, we're all individuals. But, God, that's good. Ombre de Louis is sweeter. Or dankier. Wow, that More Than Words is beautiful. And I found the 100 mil for barely over $100, right? Because a lot of people aren't talking about it anymore. This is not what's in style anymore, right? Rose oud with a mild sweetness is not in style. There's some communities that adore that stuff that are still prevalent in FragCon, but that's in certain pockets. Not everybody's into that. You know, everybody wants this kind of style right now, right? And guys, you can get the OG for less than $160 right now, okay? Go to Olfactory Factory. Go other places. You'll find it in the $150 range. I'm telling you. I sprayed on the back of the neck. I can still smell it, even though I've got More Than Words and then Ombre de Louis. Guys, but Ombre de Louis is one of those DNAs that was kind of challenging at first. But I like it. Guys, I like wearing chorus. This is one that a lot of people shit on. A lot of people shit on. But this is one I was wearing in the late 80s, mid 80s, late 80s. When I wear it, it's a time travel. I'm transported back to New York City, mid late 80s. I'm back in junior high school, going to house parties. This is gorgeous. Absolute. I gotta spray a little. This is absolutely gorgeous. Oh my God. Designer with a bite. Designer with a bite. Guys, this stuff is so good. It is so good. Guys, the latest and the greatest is not the best. It's the best compared to what came out last year or the year before when you're comparing the same thing, right? This inspired frag now today is better than yesterday's inspired frag. But that doesn't mean that you can't go back to something that's been out for 12 years. I don't know how long. It's been over a decade. So something that's been out 12, 13, 14 years. Find it at a steal and say, wow, did I really need to buy Ombre de Louis, right? I wanted to. You know, I found this for $20. But then, just like my scent of the morning, La Religieuse, guys, this stuff has been out for a long time. It's not hyped. You can get it at a great price. That's what I'm talking about. If you want 4 bangers, again, I'm going to put them up there. If you want 4 bangers, you want to go OG with a house that definitely is going to impress, Naxos, Decas, Renaissance, and Zafiro. You will not go wrong with any of those. You might have to sample because you might not like a incensey spicy amber. You may not like a floral ambery tobacco. You may not like a photorealistic citrus minty explosion. And you may not like a sweet honey lavender tobacco. So those are the quick descriptions of those 4. Sample the 1861 collection. If you're looking to start and you only want a few, that's a great place to start, guys. Anyway, que Dios me lo bendiga. You guys have a blessed week. Talk to you soon. Peace.